Hello, everybody out there in Rumble X and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about Eat, Pray, Love. This crappy movie that you like so much. I'm doing a deep dive analysis of this movie. I'm going through every single scene. Okay, so I'm not going to leave nothing out. No, I'm not going to read the book. I'm never going to read the book. The book is trash. Based on this movie, I can tell the book is trash. Okay, it sends a horrible message that a lot of women believe in, still believe in. And it's one of the reasons that, relationships and marriages are so screwed up today. A lot of it has to do with this. It's just selfishness. It's just enabling it. Okay, it's just avoiding consequences. I don't understand why so many women in movies and TV shows, okay, and in books, they're just allergic to accountability. Okay, whenever you watch anything with a male protagonist, he always has to answer for his mistakes. It's very rare you'll ever see a guy in a movie or in a book, okay, who doesn't have to pay for something that he did wrong. Okay, and I mean pay for it. Okay, it's one of the themes of Hollywood. One of the things of storytelling is we like to see the people that did bad things get their comeuppance. We like to see them get what they deserve. Okay, we like to see the villain get caught at the end. We like to see the murderer get killed and tortured at the end. Okay, it's cathartic. Because in real life we don't always see that. We see bad people get away all the time, or at least that's what we see. Doesn't mean they got away. It's just all we know is what we see. Okay, and so when we see a person who's totally devious, we want to see them get what they deserve by the end of the story. Okay, we want to see them answer for their treachery or whatever they've done wrong. I know women are really big into, or at least they were, my mom's generation and stuff. They were really big into soap operas. Okay, which not so much anymore because women are all working during the day now, so they're not stay-at-home wives anymore. Okay, but back when there was, women were addicted to soap operas. Okay, there were so many different soap operas during the day. Okay, there was Guiding Light, there was Ryan's Hope, One Life to Live, General Hospital, All My Children. What else was there? General Hospital, All My Children, The Young and the Restless. Okay, there's all sorts of stupid ass shows that were all for women, And what did all those shows deal with? They all dealt with relationships, with super good looking people, okay, and relationships, okay, falling in love, cheating on each other, an older man's young wife is sleeping with his son and they're keeping it a secret. What's her name is sleeping with this guy who's married, and she loves her husband, but she made a mistake and cheated on him with her ex-boyfriend, and now he's about to find out, and oh my God, and during all this stuff people get murdered. There's like a cheating wife, her and her lover are planning to murder her husband, her rich husband, all that stuff. Okay, that's what soap operas are all about, because that's the stuff that turns women on. Okay, relationships, okay, treachery, lying, cheating. Okay, if you look at at novels today for women, which is pretty much everything, okay, they all deal with cheating on your there's like 1,000,001 ways to cheat on your husband. Okay, and that's what all these trashy romance novels are. They're all about how to cheat on your husband. Oh, they'll come up with excuses. Oh, the husband's a jerk or something, like in Titanic. Okay, Rose's fiance, he was a jerk, so no one felt bad about her cheating on her fiance with a broke dick Jack Dawson, because she had feelings for Jack Dawson. He was closer to her age, okay, and her fiance was a jerk. I mean, he hit her and stuff. So of course we're not gonna. But that's just one way to cheat on your fiance. Okay, there's a bunch of other ways. Okay, and that's what it's all about, because women are addicted to this trashy stuff. Okay, and where do you go from being addicted to trashiness, okay, to being addicted to being unfaithful, to glamorize being unfaithful to your partner, to actually doing it in real life? Okay, the line is very thin. Okay, we are influenced by the things that we see. I mean, even me personally, one of the reasons that I got into martial arts, and one of the reasons that I got into, lifting weights, okay, and being athletic, okay, one of the reasons I did that is because of my influences, because of movies. I watched Stallone when I was a kid. I watched Arnold Schwarzenegger. I watched Bruce Willis. Okay, I watched these men growing up. These were my role models. Okay, and I knew as a child, I wanted to be like them. I wanted to imitate their behavior. I wanted to look like them. Okay, I wanted to look like Sylvester Stallone. I wanted to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I wanted to act like Bruce Willis. I wanted that personality that he had. Okay, not from Die Hard, but from Moonlighting. Although I was influenced by Die Hard as well. Okay, you see what I mean? Okay, so I cherry picked my influences. Okay, I looked up at people and said I want to be like that. Okay, and if I had seen, I got into martial arts because I was watching violent movies. I was watching Van Damme movies. He's up there doing the spin roundhouses and stuff. I wanted to learn how to do. I wanted to learn how to do the splits. I wanted to fight like that. So I went to martial arts school and I learned how to fight like that. You see what I mean? These things influenced me. Okay, because I wanted to know that if I got into a fight, I could win. You see what I mean? So these things influenced me. I actually did the behavior that I saw from my influences. Okay. And that, I think, is what women are doing, okay? Why do you think the divorce rate is so high? Why is it that 75% of all divorces in the United States are initiated by the woman? It's the women that are unhappy. Well, who told them they're unhappy? Why did the divorce rate get so high? Why did the women become so unhappy in the past 40 years? Okay, well, I'll tell you why. Okay, because they kept seeing stuff like this, telling you that you deserve better. You don't need to change. You don't need to be better, but you deserve better. You're born better. There's always a better husband out there for you. There's always a better boyfriend, okay? Single life is better than married life. Okay, being a boss bitch and traveling the world is better than being a stay-at-home mom and taking care of a bunch of rugrats. Okay, there's nothing sexy about that. Okay, you need to be with a high-value man, but you don't need to commit to a high-value man. They need to commit to you. You don't need to commit to them. Okay, and if you want to fool around, you have every right to do so because it's your body, your choice. Okay, and if you accidentally get pregnant or something, get rid of it. Okay, you can do that too. That's your agency. You have the power to do that. Screw what the father thinks. He doesn't matter. He doesn't matter. You matter. He doesn't. You see what I mean? That's the message here. That's what feminism is. Okay, and all that stuff has been bled into our society. Okay, from these libtards graduating from their Ivy League schools and being told that you need to hate men, that men owe women something. Okay, and that if you're born a male, you automatically owe something to every single woman out there who suffered, okay, throughout history from male oppression. Okay, and that's just a load of crap. That is just what you've done is you've created an entire generation of bitter, unhappy women. Okay, you know what else women do more than men? Okay, they take prescription antidepressants. 1 in 3 women in America are on some sort of antidepressant. That means that if you're watching this video, you know damn well you're on something. You're taking something, okay? Because you're not happy. If you're a middle-aged woman, you are not happy with your life. More than likely, you are on some sort of a drug, some sort of prescription medication that your shrink prescribed to you because you're not happy, okay? That's also something that women lead in America, okay? Depression, low self-esteem, that they take drugs for it. You know what else women do more than men? Plastic surgery, facelifts, Botox, boob implants, BBLs, getting their skin stretched. Okay, that's what women do a lot more than men. Okay, so what does that say? That says insecurity. That says I don't like the way I look. That says I can't take this, okay? So I'm going to go to a doctor and get stuff, foreign objects put into my body so that I can look the way this magazine, this TV show, this movie tells me I should look. Okay? Does that sound like a woman who's self-confident? It does not. It most definitely does not. Okay? So what I'm trying to tell you, ladies, is this shit, this stuff like Eat, Pray, Love, okay, it's not working. It's not making your lives better. It's making it worse. It's making it a lot worse. But for some reason, feminists, the liberal-dominated media, they keep churning out this crap, expecting you to eat it. And unfortunately, ladies, a lot of you are eating it. You're eating that shit sandwich. You're believing in crap like Liz Gilbert. Just go out there and fuck whoever you want, eat as much as you want, and don't worry about finding a guy, okay? Because when you decide to quit doing that, when you decide to quit riding the cock carousel and stuffing your face 24/7, don't worry. Okay, because when you're in your mid-40s and 300 pounds, a high-value man will fall in love with you and will wife you up and not hold your past against you. Okay? Now, you'd be too old to have kids, but, it's okay because no man out there would ever want to have kids. Okay? They're just, he's a feminist. That means women are not baby machines. Okay? Because he has absolutely no desire, okay, to create a progeny. He has no desire to create children and have his bloodline keep going. Okay? A real man doesn't want that. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Okay? And where do you think we're going to go with this? You're not going to go anywhere. You haven't gone anywhere. Okay? You've traveled so far, since the late 60s when all this bullshit started. Okay? But you didn't go anywhere. You didn't go anywhere at all. The difference is that now, okay, the men that are my age, we grew up with feminism. It was already alive and well when I was born. Okay? I grew up watching all that shit, okay? Every TV show I ever watched, every movie I ever watched, okay, had at least one episode that dealt with feminism. Everything from Punky Brewster to Different Strokes, Family Ties, The Brady Bunch, the Partridge Family, Good Times, okay, whatever. Maude, well, obviously Maude and all in the Family, that was every episode, okay? But you know what I'm saying, okay? Every significant, TV show that I watched when I was a kid had at least one episode that dealt with feminism, with rights for women, with equality, okay? So this was no stranger to me. I saw it, okay? And like a good little kid, I was brainwashed into it like everybody else. We got to be nice to girls. We never hit women, okay? We don't make fun of women, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, okay? So yes, we grew up with that. And you know what we saw as we got older? We saw that women were using feminism, okay, to abuse men. Now, I know some of you are laughing about it. That's because you don't know what it's like to be a fucking man. You don't know the shit that we've had to go through. You only know yours. You never once decided to step into our shoes and try to figure out what life must be like for us. Okay? The problems that we must have. Oh, you'll focus on all the benefits of being a man. We're stronger, we're taller, stuff like that. But you won't focus at all at the stuff that we have to deal with that you don't. Because you don't give a shit. And that's what I'm talking about. Where's the empathy if you don't give a shit about what we go through? Okay? You don't know what it's like for us. You see what I mean? But I know what it's like because I've been a man my entire life. Okay? I've seen this. I've seen the false accusations. Okay? I've seen the way women hurt men. They don't do it physically for the most part. They do it emotionally, psychologically. Okay? I've seen the problems that women cause men. I've seen women break men. Okay? In a way that you would never want your father or your son to be broken by. Okay? So let's not just say that abuse is a one-way street. It most definitely is not. Okay? It's a two-way street. Both sides hurt each other. But you only talk about our side hurting you. You never talk about your side hurting us. And that's the truth. Just because it's not physical doesn't mean it's not abuse. Okay? Although sometimes it is physical. Because no guy wants to go to the police station and say, my wife beat me up. He'll get laughed out of the fucking police office. He'll get laughed out of there. Okay? It's the most underreported crime there is. Domestic violence crime there is. Okay? So, we suffer as well from the stuff that women do. Okay? But we don't have movies that point that out. We don't have books, the best-selling books that men are buying like crazy to read about how women abuse men. We don't have organizations about that kind of stuff. Okay? We don't. Okay? So I grew up with all that stuff, and I've seen women abuse that. I've seen women pretend to be a victim so that they can commit misandry. Okay? I've seen women, pretend to be like some weak flower when they're actually ones that were pulling the strings and manipulating everything. You see what I mean? I've seen all that. I've seen women justify their affairs with men because because men have been cheating on their wives since the beginning of time. So therefore it's our turn to cheat on them and see how they like it, which is bullshit. Women have been cheating on their men ever since the beginning of time as well. But you never hear that. Y'all seem to think that cheating on your husband is something that was invented in the 60s or something. It was not. It's always been around. How many kings out there, how many fucking royal people, became kings and queens because of who they thought their father was? You see what I mean? There was no DNA back in the day. Women were getting away with it. You see what I mean? But it's different today. It's different. You know what it is? It's accountability. Okay, we've got DNA. We can test that baby to make sure it's ours. We can do that today. All right? And you know what else is something that men do today that they didn't do in the past? They're walking away from marriage. Okay, men aren't getting married anymore. Not in the way they used to. That's why bridal shops are going out of business. Okay, bridal magazines are getting shut down. Okay, because men are not getting married. Okay, men and women are not getting married at the rate that they used to, and women are complaining about it. You got some woman who spent her entire 20s, having sex with 600 guys, And now that she's 35, she's pissed off that she can't find a good man to wife her up and start a family with. And she's wondering why. It's not fair. Why are men being why did my body count matter? Why are men being judgmental? You know? I shouldn't have to, I make no apologies for my past. Okay, you don't, but you know what? Having sex with 600 guys turns men off. Any man with high value doesn't want to be with you. He doesn't want to be with a woman that's been with that many men. Okay? Because let me tell you something, ladies, okay? Y'all seem to forget this. We also want to feel special too. Just like you. We also want to feel like we're your one and only. And it's hard to feel that way when you know you've got 599 other cocks that have been inside of you before me. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. and shit like Eat, Pray, Love is telling you, no, it's okay. You sleep with as many guys as you want. Because a real man will accept you. Okay, no, a real man will reject you. Any man with any sort of self-respect is not going to wife up a whore. He's not. I know there's plenty of whores that get wiped up, but look at the men that wipe them up. Okay, those men are beta males. They're insecure. They're stupid. They have no social status. You see what I mean? They're a laughingstock, especially around other men. You see what I mean? And deep down inside, you women know this. You know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Okay, deep down inside, you know damn well that if you have a past with that many men, that many bodies, okay, you know deep down inside damn well, okay, that you would never date someone like you. And the fact that you found a guy who's willing to accept you makes you lose respect for him. That's what Liz is doing in this movie. She's dating men that have no self-respect, which means that, and she's calling it love, but when she gets tired of that guy, she can say, well, it's because you're insecure that I can't be with you. Despite the fact that the reason she picked him was because he is insecure. You see what I mean? She can't be with a man with self-confidence because that would scare her. That would leave her vulnerable. And we can't have that. That goes against feminism. You can't give power to a man over you. Okay? So she dates guys that are weak and insecure and stupid so that she can have power over them. That way, when the time comes to break it up, she can blame it on him for being weak and insecure. When that's exactly the reason she got with him, was because he was weak and insecure. You see, that's the only way she could feel comfortable in a relationship. And she doesn't know how to break this cycle. Okay, the only way to break it would be to date a confident man. And what sort of a confident man? A successful man, a good-looking man, a romantic man, okay? Who's also intelligent, he's not a dumbass. What kind of a man like that is going to wife up Liz Gilbert? Okay? I mean, Julia Roberts is 42 years old when she filmed this movie, but I'm guessing in real life, they never say how old Liz Gilbert is in this movie, but I guess in real life she was like 33, 34 when the events happened in this movie, in the book at least. Okay? So what kind of a high-value man is going to wife up a woman in her 30s or 40s? She can't give him kids. She's too old. She doesn't want kids as well. Remember that. Her career comes first. Okay? But she's got a trail of devastation against men behind her. What kind of a man with self-respect wants that as his wife? Okay? That's the thing that this movie will never talk about. It'll never show you that. It'll just show you a bunch of weak, heartbroken men looking for true love, okay? Which is a load of shit, okay? A lot of guys are just looking for fucking sex, okay? And that's the truth. And you ain't gonna see that in this movie. I mean, not really. I mean, you had that one guy with a very tiny penis, okay? Okay, that just wanted Liz for sex, okay? But that was fucking, come on. No, any sort of a high-value man, okay, if he does decide to sleep with Liz, she would be a pump and dump, okay? Because she might be fun to have sex with. She might be a great conversationalist, whatever, okay? But the bottom line is that's not the kind of woman he wants to wife up. Now, there are stupid men out there. I mean, look at Jeff Bezos, okay? Look at the head of fucking Amazon, all right? Look at his wife. You would think a guy who's a trillionaire would be smarter than to marry up something like that. Look at her history. What's her name? Something Sanchez, Rosalind Sanchez, whatever her name is. I might have gotten her first name wrong, but look up her history, okay? Look at the bodies behind her. And yet Jeff Bezos wiped her up. Oh my God. You see what I mean? So there are exceptions to what I'm saying. But I'm telling you that any guy with any sort of a self-respect, okay, is not going to be with a woman like this, okay? And I know that bursts your bubble, ladies. You know, and you can call me misogynist all you want. I don't care. I'm telling you the truth. That's what it says on here. It says straight man's point of view, and that is the straight man's point of view. Okay? Liz Gilbert is not the type of woman you want to be. There's plenty of Liz Gilberts out there. Okay? There's plenty of them out there. Okay? And these are not good women to wife up. They're not. Okay? They provide nothing and they take everything. Okay? If a guy's sole ambition in life is to find a woman to love him for the rest of it, that is it. That's the be all end all of your life. Okay, then you don't have a fucking life. You have no fucking life. Okay? Partners are there to enhance your life, not replace it. And that's the truth. That's what your wife is there for. That's what your husband is there for, to enhance your life, to make it better, make it more fulfilling, but not to provide you with a life. Do you understand? Anyone who does that is just codependent. If your wife is your entire world and there's nothing more important to you than that, okay, and that you can't even fucking wipe your own ass without your wife being there to teach you how to do it, then you're not a real man. And unfortunately, that's the only type of men that are in this goddamn movie. Okay, and that's just not realistic. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that someone like Liz Gilbert deserves to be alone, although in real life she is alone, okay? But a woman like this, does she deserve to be alone for the rest of life? No, she does not. Everyone needs somebody. Everybody deserves somebody, no matter what they've done, okay? For the most part, I think, okay? If they want to be with someone, that means that they deserve someone, okay? Okay, but I'm saying that guys like that you see in this movie are not what Liz Gilbert deserves. Okay, what Liz Gilbert deserves is a guy who's got like 7 kids from 5 different women, okay? Who's living in Costa Rica to hide from the IRS and to hide from his child support and alimony, okay? He's probably, drinks a lot and stuff, okay? He can't go back to the United States, okay? So a guy like that, who used to be worth a lot, but now he's like hiding, okay? A guy like that would be perfect for Liz, okay? Because he's selfish too. He avoids his responsibilities. He has no accountability, okay? But, he wants to get laid. He doesn't want to spend the rest of his life alone. So, okay, Yeah, I think that someone like that, and he's not in America, okay? So he's adopted a different culture, okay? Even though he's white, okay? A guy like that would be perfect for Liz, Another selfish bastard, okay? With a checkered past, with a past that he's ashamed of, okay? With a lot of people that fucking don't like him back home, including his kids and ex-wives. Yeah, a guy like that would be perfect, okay? A guy with baggage, trauma, yeah. They would get along great. They would get along great, all right? But anyway, okay, let's move along here, all right? Okay, so where we left off last time, Liz raised a lot of money, 18 grand for Wyan, the witch doctor, that, got her medical degree from a box of Cracker Jacks, and her daughter Tootie from the Facts of Life. Okay, yes. So they got their own house with the blue tile that Tootie wanted. She said she had a little piece of blue tile. She said, like, if I ever get my own house, I want the floor to look just like this. Okay, so now she did it. Basically, Liz did a GoFundMe for all of her white friends to donate money for Wyan, the witch doctor, and she donated. She raised 18 grand. So now she feels she's done something important, okay? Next up, Felipe. Now, Felipe and Liz have now had sex, okay? They had sex in that outdoor house while listening to some really terrible Brazilian music, okay? You make me feel so wonderful. Like that. It's crap, all right? So anyway, so now, because they had sex one time, now, of course, Felipe is completely in love with her now. And, they are in a monogamous, committed, long-term, serious relationship. Despite the fact that she doesn't even live in Bali. She lives in New York. He lives in Bali because he's hiding. Right? He moved from Brazil, his business, whatever. He's probably hiding from the Brazilian IRS, whatever. Anyway, so yes. So now, of course, Felipe is completely in love with Liz. Okay, after she busted his cherry, he hadn't had sex in 10 years. So after she busted his cherry, now he's completely smitten and in love with her and just like wants to spend the rest of his life with her, okay? So Felipe and Liz, they're out on the beach now, okay? And he's covering her eyes. Why? I don't know. It's clearly she knows where she is. Just put a blindfold on her and walk her there, but he's using his hands. Okay, he's covering her eyes as they walk, okay? He wants to take her to a little boat. There's a little boat there by the dock, okay? There's a little dock and there's a little boat there. Okay, and he's walking her towards that, okay? to her on a little boat. He wants to take her to an island. There's an island further off into the sea. Okay, it's his favorite place in the whole world where they can have some privacy, i.e. he can, like, kill her and hide the body. Okay, so they can camp there for a week. So for a few days, for a few days. So he wants to take her on this little boat, and they're going to go to this little island, okay? And they're going to camp on that island for a couple of days. That's a surprise to her, okay? Didn't pack anything. She didn't know she was going to be leaving right now for a few days. Okay, he just sprang this on her, okay, without her knowing, okay? Which is weak beta male behavior, okay? If you want to spend a few days with your new love, okay, you want to run it by her first. You want to make sure, like she sets up her calendar and that, everything's allotted. You can bring a change of clothes, all that kind of stuff, okay? You want to plan it. You don't just do it right on the spot. That's weak beta male behavior, okay? And that is exactly what Felipe is. He's a weak beta man. I know he looks masculine because he's got the broken nose and the deep voice, okay? But he's a fucking pussy, okay? His vagina is bigger than Liz's, okay? Anyway, so that's what he wants to do, okay? Felipe's business, he tells her that his business, okay, I guess he owns a shipping company, or we don't know what the fuck he does. He's a millionaire, we know that. Okay, that's why he can't get laid, because he's a millionaire. Yeah, right. Okay, no, I'm serious, he hasn't had sex in 10 years. Okay, he lives in Bali, where there's beaches everywhere. There's outdoor bars and dance clubs everywhere. There's young, hot Australian women there, everywhere. White women, yes, everywhere, and yet he can't get laid. He's been there 10 years. Okay, so what do you call it? So Felipe's business, he tells Liz his business is in Bali, and Liz's business is in New York, because she's a writer in New York, right? Libtard, all the way, publishing industry, right? By the way, for those of you who don't know, Liz Gilbert wrote Coyote Ugly. So Coyote Ugly, yes, the movie is basically part one. This is the sequel to Coyote Ugly. Okay, the guy that she falls in love with at the end of Coyote Ugly, that's the guy that she divorces in the beginning of this movie. Okay, just so you know. All right. Okay. Because he says, my business is here in Bali. Your business is in New York. Yes, he says Jork. New York. So after one night of sex, he wants to create a life that is divided between two places. Okay, like I said, he had sex with her one time, and now he's decided he wants to spend the rest of his life with her, but she lives in New York, and he lives in Bali. Okay, so how are you going to make that work? All right? So I guess, a fling on vacation is out of the question. So the idea that Liz and Felipe just had like a one-night stand or a fling, fuck it, it's summer vacation, right? You have flings. You know what that's called? You know what it's called when you have sex with someone in a faraway land? Okay? You know what that's called? It's not called I want to be with you for the rest of my life. It's called fucking spring break. Okay, that's what it's fucking called. Okay, but nobody thinks of that in this movie. We immediately go from the sex to fucking we're in a monogamous, committed, long-term relationship. Get the fuck out of here. Why the fuck is this movie going directly to that? Why? In real life, even a woman wouldn't fucking want to get serious with this guy. Not after having sex with him once. What kind of woman wants to fucking do that? Are we supposed to pretend that Liz did not know that she's in a faraway country? Far away from her home in the United States? Of course she knew that. He knew that. And they knew that before they had sex. So why the fuck are we automatically going into serious, long-term, monogamous relationship? For Christ's fucking sakes, you don't even fucking live there. It's called a fucking fling. That's what it's called. When you fuck someone on vacation, it's called a fucking fling. It's called spring break. Jesus Christ. The movie don't want to go there. They don't even want you to think of that. All right. Like I said, he knew that she was just on vacation. He knew that already. Okay? And he wants to commit to her fully for the rest of his life? Okay, you know what that is? That's desperation. That's low value behavior. That's beta male, limp dick, soy boy, low value behavior. That's what that is. And that's exactly what Felipe is. All right? So Liz says, like, why? So why do I need to go on a boat with you and spend a few days on an island? She's like, why? He says, because, darling, I am in love with you. Like that, like a fucking pussy. like a fucking gay guy proposing to his fucking boyfriend. That's what that looks like. So clearly Liz, okay, because she's the man, she's the one with the big cock in this relationship. She does not want to go. She doesn't want to go on the boat with him to that island for a few days. She's like, fuck that, I ain't doing that. You didn't tell me I was going to do that. I had to do that. Okay? She tells him, hey, listen, I haven't even been to my outdoor house in 5 days, okay? I've been staying with you for the past 5 days, okay? I've not seen Ketut, my fucking spiritual shaman witch doctor. I haven't even seen him. The reason I came to Bali, I have not even seen him in 2 weeks. And you expect me to get on that boat with you and go fucking camping on an island for a few days? Fuck you, I ain't doing it. That's basically what she says, you know? She says it's too much too soon. Well, Felipe, of course, he's got a rebuttal for that. Felipe says like, to go be by ourselves for a couple of days? That is too much for you? What's the problem? I have the same fears? The same scars as you? I showed them to you. I showed you my pussy. We have that in common. Now, big mistake here. Okay, showing that you're afraid will not win a girl over. So telling her, hey, listen, I'm scared to death of being in love with you. I'm scared to death of getting my heart broken again. Okay, that's not the kind of shit you tell a woman. That's not the kind of shit that's going to get her pussy wet. Okay? It's not. It's low value behavior. Okay? I don't give a shit what the fuck feminism tells you. Feminism is a load of fucking shit. Okay? A woman wants to be with a man who is more confident than she is. Okay? Because feminism is a fucking lie. Okay? Women are pretending to be confident when they're not. Women expect a man to be confident for real. For real. She doesn't want to be with a guy who's worrying about the same shit that she's worrying about. She doesn't want to be a guy who's so fucking insecure he's going to cry about being rejected, because that's the shit that she wants to do when she gets rejected. You see what I mean? She wants to be with a guy who's already mastered that stuff. That stuff's not going to bother him. Okay, that's what a real man does. But, you know, Liz has never dated a real man. She dates these soy boy limp dick pussies like Felipe. You see what I mean? Here he is telling her, I'm just like you. I've got the scars. I showed you my fears. I showed you my pussy. Okay, but there's a difference between Liz and Felipe. Okay? Felipe had his heart broken by his ex-wife. Okay, they don't go into specifics, but the fact that he's not over it after 10 years means that she fucked him over. So she left him, probably for another guy. A masculine guy with a bigger dick. Okay, that's probably what happened. Pretty sure, I guarantee you that's what happened. Okay, and he's not over it. He's still crying about it until he met Liz. You see what I mean? So he's the guy that got his heart broken. Liz, on the other hand, she's the woman that breaks the hearts. She finds these limp dick soy boy beta males. Okay, she falls in love with them and they immediately fall in love with her, and then she breaks their heart because they're not masculine enough for her. They don't make her happy. They can't get her off. You see what I mean? They're romantic. They're all about their feelings. They're crybabies, but they just can't get her pussy wet. Okay? And so she's bored of them. She's tired of them. So she breaks their hearts. Okay? Felipe doesn't understand the difference. Okay? He doesn't realize that this is exactly the type of woman that's going to fuck you over. He doesn't understand that. He thinks they're the same. They're not the same. They're the exact opposite. He's more feminine than she is. All right. Okay? So showing that you're afraid will not win the girl over, okay? Okay, you and her are not the same. She dumps men and you get dumped by women. I wonder why this soy boy pussy beta male crybaby gets dumped by women. I wonder why. It boggles the mind. So Felipe says, the only difference is you are afraid to love. So he's fucking Oprah now, okay? He's figured out love, okay? Just like he fucking couldn't figure out his own limp dick, he's figured out love. Alright, this guy does not know what torturing yourself over a woman that broke your heart, torturing yourself for a decade over a woman that broke your heart, that's not love. That's not love, okay? That's unrequited codependence, okay? That's not love, okay? He said, the only difference, you are afraid to love. You have to look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Do you love me? You do or you don't? But I know you do. I know you love me, so why won't you just say it? Just say it. Look me in the eye and say it that you love me. Say it that you love me. Just like that. Liz says, like, because, you know, Julia Roberts, she's doing her whole emotional phase. She's like, 2 reasons, Felipe. Number 1, you're a limp dick soy boy beta male. And number 2, whenever I'm with you, I just want to eat pussy. Ah! Okay. That wasn't fair. I'm projecting. This movie is based on a true story, okay? Where supposedly in real life, Liz fell in love with Jose Nunez, okay? Who in real life was like 54, 55 years old when these events happened. And Liz Gilbert was like 33, 34 years old. So we're talking like a 19-year difference in ages, okay? When this supposedly happened in real life. Now, in this movie, Julia Roberts is 42 years old and Javier Bardem is 41 years old. So they're similar in age. Where in real life, they were not similar in age. Okay, this is an older man, balding and all that kind of stuff, okay? Old and weak. All right. And so they did get married. They got married, I think, in 2006 or 2007, like around the time the book came out. Eat, Pray, Love, the novel. The novel came out in 2006. So they either got married in 2006 or they got married in 2007, something like that, okay? They got divorced in 2016. Yes. Oh, you thought this relationship was going to last? No. Okay, what really happened is in 2014, Liz Gilbert started an affair with a friend of her husband's, a friend of Jose's, who was a lesbian. Yes. Liz decided to put carpet in her lunchbox. I'm not making this up. She started an affair with a lesbian. And then she realized that she was a lesbian. Thereby, she could not be married to a man. So she divorced Jose Nunez in 2016 after she'd already been with her new partner, Raya Elias, that's her name. Look it up. You know, they even had a ceremony. They had like a gay wedding, okay, which wasn't acknowledged by law, okay, but they had like a gay wedding. And then unfortunately, Raya passed away a year after that because she had cancer. She had cancer. Now, there is a book about this. I know I'm not going to fucking read it. I don't give two. This is enough Liz Gilbert for the rest of my life. I do not need any more of her. But that's what happened. In real life, Liz Gilbert had an affair on Jose, who Felipe in this movie is based on. All right? So just so you know, all this love shit they're saying to each other, okay, does not last. Okay? Just so you know. And on a side note, once Raya passed away, Liz Gilbert decided she wanted to fuck cock again. So she started fucking guys again after that. And then she fell in love with another guy, and I think his name was Christopher McDonald or something like that. Okay, and then that lasted for like a year, and then he dumped her because she was old, tired, withered, and just a piece of shit. He dumped her, and ever since then, she's been alone. Okay, so she's alone right now. Old lady, shaved head, glasses, bald, or whatever the fuck she is, with a bunch of cats. She could be dead right now for all we know. I don't want her to be dead, but she could be. It's not like there's anyone to check on her or anything. So yes. So anyway, don't be Liz Gilbert, ladies. Don't be her. Okay. Even this bullshit movie is not realistic. Even this bullshit movie did not have a realistic happy ending for her. Okay. And a blind man could see this if you just paid attention. If you got a straight guy to watch this movie, they could have told you all this shit. All right. Luckily, I'm here to tell you. All right. So yes, she cheated on him with a woman. Okay, that's what happens in real life. Okay. So she also tells Felipe after, while he's crying and his pussy is all fucking dried up. She tells him, I found something and I can't give it up. I found something and I can't give it up. Well, what did you find? Okay. She's like, if I did, you wouldn't be all in love with me. If I gave up what I found, you wouldn't be all in love with me. And Felipe, of course, he's like, you traveled the whole world to looking for balance. And what is that? What is balance? 20 minutes of meditation? Visiting an old man? That's balance? Balance, darling. He calls everybody darling. Balance, darling, is not letting anyone love you less than you love yourself. Felipe, that's bullshit. Okay, because you don't even love yourself. That's why you're a fucking crybaby. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't treat yourself like shit. So even Felipe doesn't believe this bullshit. Okay? You're not going to convince me that Felipe loves himself. He doesn't. He wants Liz to love him more than he loves himself. Because he doesn't love himself. You see what I mean? He thinks that if I just love bomb her to death, then she's going to commit to me. No, that turns women off. It's bad enough he's a limp dick soy boy beta male already. That's already a bad sign. But now he keeps throwing love and romance, and that just fucking dry up her pussy. Okay? This guy is way too fucking into her, way too fucking committed to her. Okay? And she hasn't felt that with him yet. She hasn't gotten there yet. She wants to go at her own pace, not his. You see what I mean? To her, she's just on vacation, really. You see? To him, it's life or death. Being with her is going to save him from his miserable, depressive life. Because he has no life. He's not a real man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So she tells him, don't you tell me about balance or the lessons I've learned here or how I can express myself. You don't tell me what to do. I'm a boss bitch. I don't need to listen to some man. And don't call me darling. I'm not your fucking darling. I do not need to love you to prove that I love myself. No fucking shit, you don't. Okay, you do love yourself, Liz. You love yourself more than anybody else, than anything else. And you don't realize that's the problem. Your needs always come first. It's always about you. It's always about what people can do for you. What can you do for yourself? It's never about what can you do for other people. You see what I mean? She's still stuck in that mentality. Now, she is getting better, obviously. She did give Wyon, she did raise 18 grand for Wyon so she could get her own house. So she's not a complete piece of shit, but her autopilot is to only think about herself. What can I get out of this? She doesn't give a shit about Katoot. What can Katoot give me? What can I get out of Katoot? Okay? Same thing with her friends in Rome. What can they provide for me? What can they give me? Not what I can give them. Okay? Same thing with the ashram in Calcutta. Okay? With Richard, what can Richard teach me? What can I learn from him? Not what I can teach him. Not what I can help him with his life. What can he help with my life? You see what I mean? That's Liz Gilbert. And Felipe, of course, now he's crying. Yeah, big news. He's crying, right? He's like, you are running away from all the great possibilities of your life. You have to marry me before you can fall in love with that lesbo. Don't you understand? If you don't marry me, you're never gonna cheat on me with the lesbo. And then where will I be? I'm getting on the boat. I'll get on it without you. I don't need you either. I don't need no woman. I'll get on the boat alone. I've got my thumb in my ass, my dick in my hand, and I got gay porn. So they split up. They split up right there. I know, I'm heartbroken. And then, of course, we see Wyan. We see the people building Wyan's house, and we see Tootie from The Facts of Life. She's looking at that blue tile, and she sees them putting blue tile on the floor, what's going to be her floor. So at least Wyan and Tootie have a happy ending, okay? Clearly, Felipe and Liz do not, at least not now. Actually, they never will, because we know what happens later on, okay? Remember, this movie came out 16 years ago, okay? All right, I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back soon to continue my review. Thank you very much for watching this long. Real quickly here, before I forget, Diego Knows and Knows Diego. That is my X account right there, X. And Diego De La Vega Knows this right here. This is my Rumble, okay? So this video will be on both of those as well, okay? I thank you very much for watching this long. I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.